It's Monday. It's 8 p.m. It's the Monday assessment.
And your people gather round your town when things are on the up or things are falling down. Celebrate the high times, stay passionate through the lows, find strength in the chaos, no matter which way it goes. It's not easy being blue. Heartbreak comes in many ways, the hardest times, the darkest days, but all these things get washed away with us, with us. The highs might not come every day, but memories do, and memories stay. Enjoy that moment anyway with us, with us, with us. It's not easy being blue. It's not easy being blue.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Monday Assessment by the view from Medway Fancast in partnership with the Gillingham FC Supporters Club, in partnership with Sports Social Podcast Network and Her Game 2, and sponsored by Snodhurst Used Car Sales and Service Station and Wicked Creative. After another draw out the last three, then we are back as we talk about Tranmere and a lot more things to boot. So I'm joined this evening by James, I'm joined by Warren and Eddie. How are we, gentlemen?
Yeah, not too bad.
So we'll get straight onto the Views News, boys. And before we do that, I just want to ask you something that's been a highlight of your week before the football. So, James, I'll start with you.
Before the football? Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Well, I've been off work, so I've done lots of nice stuff with the family. And probably the best thing was the trip to Chatham Dockyard, which was really good. Actually, not been there for years, and it was, a lot of fun. So, yeah, that was really fun.
Nice. Warren, yourself?
Yeah, not a lot's really happened. It's been a bit of work and not much play. I won a bowls on Sunday, 26-7, which was quite a rarity for me that I was actually in the winning team. So that was probably a good moment for me that I won a bowls on Sunday.
There we go. And Eddie, yourself?
Watching Super Kent beat Lancashire at Beckenham yesterday. Kent have been terrible all year, so it's nice to actually see a win.
There we go. So we'll quickly move on to the Views News, and I'll hand over straight to Warren, and Warren can take this one with him.
Yeah, good evening, gents. So I'm going to talk about Gillingham's DNA. So last season, there was a lot of talk amongst supporters and the club about Gillingham's DNA. So I'm going to ask Chris first. What do you think is Gillingham's DNA?
A team that fights, a team that, we're not always going to win, but as long as us as fans, we can see that the team are fighting for the badge. It's sometimes ugly, it has been over the years, but yeah, just basically a team that fights, mate. I don't think we can ask any more than that. I think we mentioned it a couple of times last season on the show that, we don't expect to win every week, but we expect 100% effort every week. And I think, we're kind of, I don't want to say it too early, but we're kind of reaching that realm at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I personally, I think that the last two games, Wimbledon at home and Tranmere on Saturday, just showed that the team were 100% behind Gareth and what Gareth's trying to get this team up to. And I know that it's not there yet to where we should be or where we could be, but we are getting there. So, James, I don't know what year you started going to Gillingham games.
87, my first game.
87. So,
Here I was born.
What is...
Don't say that, of course.
It's 87, and I know you started late when you was 50, but... From 1987, what would you say Gillingham's DNA is, James? What would you like to?
Yeah, very similar. I think first and foremost, like effort every week, like Chris said. I think that goes without saying. I think us Gills fans have always admired players who'll run through brick walls, and we've had a lot of them down the years. It's been great to see that, and we've actually got one or two now, which is really nice. But I also think it's nice to see us. Also, down the years, we've had a little bit of Stardust sprinkled in there. We've had some special players at Gills, and I think that is at the moment the one ingredient for me which is missing. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that. But definitely, I would say the Gillingham. What we're made of is we're made of strong stuff. It's a traditionally working class area, as are a lot of football clubs in the lower leagues. But I think Gills, we really carry that on our we really wear that on our sleeves. And I think the fans have stuck through things thick and thin with the Gills. There's been some awful moments down the years, and I think generally we're a really good bunch. We're a really loyal bunch. We're a really resilient bunch, and I think we like to see that reflected in the players. Really, to be honest.
Yeah, Ed, we'll go to you. I know you've been going a lot longer, and I don't disagree with anything that James and Chris has said. But what's your point of view with the Gillingham team? What's your something that the other two have?
I started going in 1978, and I don't think people looked at clubs talking about their DNA back then in the same sense that you would have a conversation about it now. The Jerry Summers team had some hard men in it, but then all teams in the late 70s had some hard defenders and hard midfield players because you were allowed to kick each other up in the air. I would say when Keith Peacock took over, our DNA wasn't the passion, determination, run through brick wall side. We were the most entertaining team in the bottom two divisions for maybe 6 or 7 out of 8 years. Ridiculously attacking. And we had a reputation of when the going get tough, we'd get mugged by the bullies. We'd lose to Swindon or whatever, or we'd lose to Bristol City. And we'd always get a march and blow up, right? We used to talk about Mad March. So we didn't have the sort of DNA the others who were slightly younger have just mentioned. I think that style of DNA identification for the Gills was created by Tony Pulis. It was 95. We'd been through the ringer. Pretty disastrous, obviously, administration, second bottom of the league, Halifax, blah, blah, blah. And we sort of reinvented ourselves under him. Now, the first team he built was 95-6, and, they could handle themselves, and they would literally run through brick walls. And we had a ferocious, fierce team, and everywhere we went, we upset everybody, and they bloody hated us, and they hated coming to Priestfield, a bit like what Ainsworth, I think, is trying to recreate. However, the second team he built, which is like the best side I think we've ever had, the 98, 99, 2000 side, they were incredibly passionate as well, but they were also, very skillful, and we had some very talented players, and we scored loads of goals, and we were very attacking. But on the flip side of that, still, when they needed to dig out the result on a Tuesday night or go to the last minute and get a draw or an equaliser or a winner, they were the most determined side I've ever seen in a Gill shirt. And they brought those two things together. If you can bring really attractive goal-scoring football and mesh that with, a team of people who are completely together, that's a dream scenario for us. If that happens again, that'd be bloody awesome. But I think that us against the rest of the world thing, which then served us really well for 5 years in the Championship, was born under Pulis, and I think that's what you're alluding to. And I think that even if we're not going to score 80 goals a season, that is going to take you a long way in League Two in particular, where, you know, the quality is not utterly brilliant at the moment. So that's my take on the DNA.
Yeah, cheers, Ed, for quite a detailed explanation. I mean, I've been going since 73, 74. I think we've got 3 DNAs. For the lower league, we've got to be a nasty team and hard to play against. Nobody wants to play us. Nobody wants to come to Gillingham. I agree with that. In League One, I think we're more of an attacking side, score goals and whatever. And then in the Championship, I just think we was pretty resilient, and it was back against the wall stuff for those years, and we overachieved. So for me, the main DNA is of any Gillingham team is they give 100%, and I don't think in the last couple of years we've had that for every game we've seen them. So, but I think for the last week, fair play to the players, fair play to Gareth, because we have worked our nuts off over the last two games, Wimbledon and Tranmere, and we've got another 2 hard games coming up this week. I just hope we can keep that mentality for these 2 games, because I think they're winnable, but it's going to be hard work to win both games. So, I'm going to talk
about that later, I'm sure, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about what's needed in a minute. So bear that in mind. Okay, so we're going to Masterson's injury. Now, it's been alluded to today from some quarters that Masterson could be out for 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 months with a ruptured calf. I don't know how true this is. This is only on someone say so. Now, yeah, Chris's. So if it's not true, it's Chris's fault. But I put this in for the Views News before this news came out. So I'd like to ask Eddie first. Bearing in mind we've got 2 other people to speak, Ed. What do you think of the Masterson injury?
It's very depressing if he's going to be out for 4 to 6 months, for him and for us. I know we started the season and people were thinking, well, how are we going to fit all the quite good central defenders or defenders into the team? But then injuries and suspensions always happen. But that is a bit of a blow, I've got to say. I mean, obviously, everyone's got their favourites of the other players we've got available. And it's one of the areas where we do have strength in depth. But, you know, I was delighted when we re-signed him at the end of last season. So that's quite a big blow. So, I mean, the club have alluded to maybe we need 2 in instead of 1 in the door before the end of the month. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get someone on loan now.
Yeah. James?
Yeah, I think I think it's fair to say that this Gillingham squad is weaker without Masterson. There's no doubt about that. I think his quality started the season very well. I think I was more surprised than anyone when he signed. To be honest with you, I really thought he was off. So for Ainsworth to get him to sign was a real coup, I think, and it was great to see that perhaps we'd have him for, I'm not sure how long he signed for. Was it another year or another 2? I'm not sure, but 1 year, yeah. So that's a real shame to think that we might not see him for the majority of the rest of his contract. That would be a real shame for, as Eddie said, for him and for us. But crucially, missing Masterson makes us weaker. There's no doubt about that. He's a quality defender at this level, and he's also a threat in the opposition box as well. I think he's one of the few that you can rely on sticking it in the back of the net. So, yeah, if it is a long-term injury, I'm absolutely gutted for him and for us, definitely.
Yeah, Chris, you saw the game on Saturday, and did you and Tuesday against Wimbledon? Do you think Masterson is that much of a loss?
I'm going to be honest and say no. I don't think he is, when you've got the likes of Shad, Sam Gale and Andy Smith there. It would have been a bigger loss had we not had maybe Sam Gale come in last season and have a breakthrough second half of the season, I think that maybe it would have been maybe more of a loss. But I don't necessarily. He's a very good player, Connor. Don't get me wrong, and I mean no disrespect to him, but I don't think that it's a massive loss when you've got them three. And to be fair, before Shad's injury the other night, he was our best player in the first two games, so we have options there. If we choose to play a three, then maybe we will need to get another one in. Let's not forget that Robbie can drop back there as well. So, yeah, I don't think it's a massive loss. It's a loss nonetheless, but I think the other three are good enough. They are good enough to step in, and with another one maybe, then fine. But I just want to touch on as well, like it is a rumoured 3 to 6 months, are ruptured. If it's a rupture, then yeah, you're looking at that anyway. So this is what I've been told. It's not something that I know. It's something I've been told. So yeah, we will see. But I don't think it's as big a loss as people may straight away jump to, because you've got to think about Andy Smith, you've got to think about Sam Gale, and you've also got to think about Shadogi. So yeah.
I mean, for me, it's going to be a big loss, because I felt that for the first time since when Masterson joined us and before Neil Harris got the sack, he was brilliant. And then I felt he sulked for quite a while after Neil Harris had got sacked and didn't really perform to the best of his abilities. But I think that this season, Gareth had put a lot of onus on Masterson to be the voice at the back and be one of those main voices with the youngsters of Ogie, Gow and Smith around him to lead the back 4 or 5. I think it will be a big loss, because I thought he was just coming back into form. I thought he really wanted to play for the club again. I think he was infused by Gareth's management style. And I think that he would have been somebody that we would have relied upon throughout the season for the odd goal, plus him helping the youngsters through at the back. So I think it'd be a good loss. Let's hope the injury isn't as bad as it's feared. And we see Connor back in a Gill shirt ASAP, because I think that he will be missed, especially that experience of playing at the back with the youngsters that we've got. Okay, so we're going to what's needed now. What I'm going to ask all three of you is to believe that your head of recruitment, you've got 2 players' wages that we're allowed. Okay, so I want 2. I don't want players' names, because that's a bit unfair, because there could be 1,000 players available. And I don't think we're going to get anyone that would probably say so. But what I would like to know is, what position in 2 players would you like to see? So, James, I'll go to you first.
Whoa, well, I would. Masterson's injury colours things for me a little bit. Before he got injured, I would have said we would have been quite all right for defenders, and I would have been happy with maybe some right back or left back cover, or right back cover, I should say, and a forward. But now I think definitely a central defender. We need to bring a central defender in who can cover Masterson if he is out for the length of time we think. And I also feel like we need something going forward as well. We're yet to see, obviously, if Seb Palmer-Hold and Sam Vokes can fulfil the role that we're really hoping for, which is that fox in the box type. That's the sort of striker I would really like to see us have on our books. Somebody like Cody McDonald. I know they're hard to find. They really, really are hard to find, but that is what I would love in this team. If you could just sprinkle something like that into this team, somebody who might not do anything for 85 minutes, but then on 90 minutes gets his first chance and it's in the back of the net. That is what I would love to see us sign. And I don't know if we've got the money for it. I don't know if it's that person's even available, but that's what I would really like us to see. But we might already have them. I don't know. Let's see. Let's give Seb and Sam a chance. So, but yeah, as things stand right now, a central defender and a fox in the box centre forward for me.
Eddie, over to you, mate.
Well, assuming we can't just get a time machine and Bob Taylor from about 1998, 99,
That'd be nice.
or even Carlos Arba, but anyone I can buy. If assuming we haven't got a time machine, then the thing is, a lot of teams are looking for the same player because a lot of teams are saying we haven't got a striker. There seems to be a shortage, a world shortage. Even Premier League sides haven't got one sometimes. So prior to Masterson's injury, if you were asking me two players, I'd have said a wide or someone with real pace in midfield is going to run at him, if assuming Rowe's not going to play every game because he goes twang, and we need more pace in that area. And then the second thing is a fox in the box, or better than a fox in the box would be Bob Taylor, who can twang him in from 30 yards as well. But yeah, a fox in the box who can finish our dinner, because the rest of it, I feel like we're almost like two players away from clicking. I mean, I think the defence has been really good. The midfield's determined, organised, passionate. So that's where I'd probably go, assuming you haven't got a time machine.
Yeah. Chris, this is your dream job, right? Head of recruitment. Okay. You're going to bring two players in. You've banged the drum about our current recruitment team over the last year. This is the chance for us to get our own back at you. What do you want?
I want someone with pace in the middle. I know we've got a plethora of players in the middle at the moment. I think someone with pace that can actually get the ball forward, because when you've got Bradley Dack standing there, it's not, when you're passing it around and passing it back, Bradley's then standing there like, well, where's the ball? I'd personally go for someone with pace in the middle, get rid of a couple in the middle, and probably one on the wing. If rumours are to be believed and Joe Bodo's out the door, then I'd say we'd probably need maybe two. Aaron Rowe for me is a very, very good player, and it's no coincidence that last season when he came back, we looked a lot more fluid. We looked like a lot better team in those last 6 games that he was back. But again, it's one of them fitness issues, isn't it? Can we keep him fit? Is he going to be fit? Is he going to be one of them players that's just going to, as the boys said, is he going to go twang? You don't know. So, yeah, for me, it would be forward areas. I'd also like a keeper that could, after this season, potentially take over from Glenn Morris or be alongside Glenn Morris, because for me personally, I don't think Jake Turner's good enough for this level. I've got criticised for that all week, but I'm going to stick to my guns and I'm going to not double down on that. As James said, I think maybe we could potentially, now that Masterson's injured, get maybe a loan, maybe a short-term loan from like one of the higher leagues for a centre-back. But yeah, for me, main areas would be pace in the middle and pace on the wings.
Right. Okay. So for 2 years now, I've been saying that we need a hard man in midfield, someone with real pace, a left back, and recently I've said a goalkeeper. Now, apart from the left back and the hard man, I think most of it's been covered off. I still think we need a left back, especially if we're going to go and play with a 4. If Sam Gell's going to play right back for a lot of this season. I don't think we need a centre half to cover Masterson. I think we've got Ogie, Smith and Sam Gell. And I think we've got McKenzie who can come in and drop in. And you've even got Ethan Coleman who could play centre half as well. But the hard man, I think Ethan Coleman's proved that he's come out this season and he wants to be that rock of the team, where hopefully he can try and bully opposition. He's very good at breaking up play. I just hope that he can add a bit more variety to his passing. But surely he should be given the ball to Amani Little or Rob McKenzie or whoever else is playing in midfield, Johnny Williams, Aaron Rowe, Bradley Dack. So let's hope his form continues, and I hope his facial injury isn't too bad to keep him out. Left back, I don't know what it is. I just don't think we've got a good enough left back in this division. And I don't think we've got a good enough goalkeeper. We've got a good enough goalkeeper to keep us mid-table, but I don't think we've got a good enough goalkeeper to take us to that top 4 or 5 spot where he's going to save us for points and gain us points over the year. I know I'm going to be shot down for it because everyone loves Glenn, and no disrespect to Glenn. I think he's a good goalkeeper. I just don't think he's a brilliant goalkeeper. And if you're going to win things, your best player's got to be a goalkeeper. Our goalkeeper isn't our best player. So that's where I hope we can improve. Someone with real pace that's going to terrorise people in this division. And it's a choice for me, left back or goalkeeper. I'm going to go goalkeeper. So that's where we are. So over to you, Chris. I'll finish my spiel. I'll let you carry on.
Yeah, cheers, mate. No, that's good. It's good, and I do want to add on that. I think Glenn's good for another year. I just feel that father time does catch up on you when you're a keeper, and when you're 40 plus, there's going to come a time where he needs to quit. And I Tate's too young to rely on him at the moment, right? Goalkeepers don't generally come into their form until they're upper 20s. I just don't think Jake's kicked on as we would expected when he came in. So that's my reasoning for that. But yeah, anyway, boys, we move on to the Tranmere facts. Tranmere were founded in 1884. Prenton Park's 4 stands are the main stand, the Cop, the Johnny Walker stand, and the Cowshed. Ray Matthias is the Tranmere's record appearance maker with 637 appearances between 1964 and 1984. So we will quickly touch on the lineups, boys, and we had Glenn Morrison goal. For me, it looked like a back 4 at the time, but we will discuss this, of Max Clark, Sam Smith, Gale, and Hutton. We then had a middle 3 of Little, Coleman, and McKenzie, and then we had Bradley Dack, Andrews, and Nevitt. So, boys, we will touch on this because it kind of varied. I don't think that it was necessarily that lineup, but it kind of looked it to start with. So, James, I'll go with you and your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I was quite happy when I saw the team on X. I thought, that's pretty much what I would have gone with. I was really, really happy to see Andrews get a start. I think absolutely deserved that start after the performances he's been putting in. As you say, it was a very, very strange version of that 11 that we finally got. But yeah, on paper, I was very pleased. I wouldn't have changed anything at all myself personally there. I thought all the players that started deserved to start, and yeah, I think Gareth got that spot on. To be honest with you, I was absolutely delighted with the 11 that he picked.
Yeah, and Warren, yourself, mate.
Yeah, I personally thought it was a back 4 of Gell, Smith, McKenzie, and Clark, with Hutton playing as an inverted fullback for the first half, and then he switched more to the wing in the second half. He just touched a bit wider in the second half. I thought he played as an inverted fullback. I thought Coleman stood in front of the back 4 as such, and then you had Hutton and Little, and then you had Dack playing a little bit deeper than probably a number 10 because he certainly didn't get anywhere near the penalty area for Tranmere's penalty area. And then Andrews and Nevitt played up front, and I think Nevitt just played a little bit deeper because when we looked the ball up to Andrews, Nevitt seemed to be like 3 days away. So I think it's because it was a little bit deeper that he just wasn't up alongside Andrew for flick-ons and whatever. I think that was a tactical thing. We tried to nullify Tranmere by playing Hutton where we did, playing Gale strong on the right-hand side to nullify the threat of Amari Patrick. And I thought Mackenzie and Smith were just outstanding in the centre half. Clark, I think, let himself down at the end, getting sent off. With 1 minute left, you don't do anything stupid. And now he's out for the Chesterfield game. I actually picked this team. Lee Clifton picked a team on X on Saturday, and I replied with exactly the same 11 as what started. So that's my claim to fame.
There you go. And Eddie, without touching on the game itself, mate, what were your thoughts on the lineup?
I was quite pleased, like most people. I thought a fair amount of it was quite predictable. I think people wanted Andrews to start after his good form. And yeah, the thing is it's quite, we've gone quite flexible, and we have more than a plan A. We have a plan B, plan C. So it can be quite fluid. So Hutton ended up further up the pitch than I was expecting, should we say? And they tweaked it during the game as well. So I mean, in one sense, it's a healthy sign. But yeah, when I saw the actual lineups before the game, I thought that's decent.
Yeah. So we quickly touched on the game, boys, and the logos have changed because I'll be quite honest, getting their new logo into something without the background being dropped out and everything else has been quite difficult for me this week. So without putting things behind it, it's been so. We will talk about the first half. I just want to quickly touch on the injury to Ethan Coleman. So, Eddie, from your viewpoint, what actually happened there?
We didn't have a great view of it, so it was one of those where we weren't howling for something. It just seemed to happen. So,
yeah,
I can't really comment that much on it because from where we were sat. And I think we were chatting as well, and it sort of just happened rather than, there wasn't a game where they thought, "Oh my God, what's he done?"
Yeah, Warren, did you have a better viewpoint, or is it much of the same as Eddie's?
Much the same as Eddie, really, because it just seemed that there was a coming together, and suddenly he was being taken off with blood pouring from his face. If there had been anything that was wrong with the challenge, there would have been certain parts of the crowd who might have had a better view or decent viewpoint of what happened. They might have been in uproar, but nobody was. Anyone was surprised to see him go off, to be honest. So I don't think many people up our end really either saw anything or realised that he was as badly injured as what it's transpired.
Fair enough. And yeah, James, yourself, from where you were seeing it?
Yeah, I did see. Yeah, I think it looked pretty innocuous to me, to be honest with you. As Warren said, I think there were certainly Gareth Ainsworth ahead of anyone would have been screaming if there'd been anything nasty, and I don't think there was. At first, I thought he'd broken his nose or something because of the amount of blood, but I think Gareth mentioned after the game that he had a gash, didn't he? So maybe it was a cut. I don't know, but I don't think there was any malice in the challenge at all. I think it was just like you say, coming together, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of got to feel sorry for Ethan because he didn't have the best of seasons last season. He didn't have a pre-season fair play, but he's come back this season. He's looked pretty decent, to be fair, in the games that he has played.
It's the hair.
It's the hair. Yeah, what's happened to the hair? Like it's literally disappeared. It's like a backwards turkey, isn't it? It's gone from having hair to having no hair. But yeah. Anyway, we're only joking. But yeah, no, for me, again, it looked pretty much like it was a nothing thing, but we'll see. But we move on to second half because the first half, other than that, was not really eventful other than a couple of shots over the bar from each side. So the second half, we will touch on Patrick's goal. And Warren, I'll come to you, mate. What were your thoughts on it? Do you think it was offside at the time, or?
I don't like to lambast officials because sometimes it's very difficult to see from where you're sitting. Now, unfortunately, we was at the far end to where the incident happened, and he looked 20 miles offside. So I am going to lambast the officials because I thought he was miles offside. I've just seen a shot, a video of the goal on X before we came on, and it looks miles offside. So I think the linesman got caught ball watching because the ball was in an area and suddenly it was totally different to the ball as though it was going to be aimed out to Amari Patrick and he was going to get it. And suddenly Amari Patrick's like 3 days offside and the linesman's still looking at where the ball should have been up the other end. Yeah. And because he hasn't seen it, he hasn't given it. Now, that's fair enough. He hasn't seen it, so he hasn't given it. And I get that. But to be so far right from it was unbelievable. But to be honest, we talk about officials every week. I haven't seen a decent one yet this season. Probably the Walsall game was probably the best referee we've had. I didn't go Atkinson. But even he weren't great. I just think that officials guess too much. And especially referees. Referees guess too much. And linesmen don't seem to have much, I don't know.
The bollocks.
They don't have much feeling to the game because referees tell them not to give free kicks and contentious things, right? And they've got a lot. Running a line's difficult, right? If you've ever run a line at a decent level, it is hard work. Having to keep an eye on the line, what players are doing, offsides, players' movement at that level is absolutely tremendous. Until you get to run the line at that sort of level, or just a bit lower, or even Kent Youth League or whatever, the movement of players is unreal, and it's very difficult. So I do it on a Sunday morning for Encore in reserves or whatever in Division 5, but there's a big difference to doing it at a level where players are more intelligent and the way they run is more intelligent. And it is a difficult job, and I feel sorry for the linesman because he made a howler, but because he's got caught ball watching a little bit, he's made a mistake.
Yeah. And do you know what? I've kind of lost track to who I went through. Did I go, James? Have I asked you about this yet?
No, I must admit, when I first saw it, everyone was talking about offside, and I thought, what on earth is everyone talking about? There's no way Patrick was even close to being offside. I wasn't even looking at Dennis; he was so far offside. I wasn't even looking at him, to be honest with you. And then when I realised it was him, I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, he really was. And then for an opposition manager to then come out afterwards and say, yes, it was offside, never happens. That never happens. So yeah, you know they've made a ricket there. But but what I will say is play to the whistle. Play to the whistle, Gills. Come on, that's basic stuff.
But then I guess you could also say, and Eddie, we will talk to you about the Amari Patrick goal. But you could then, if we put that into a collective, you could ask Tranmere to play to the whistle, because if they had played to the whistle, Joe Bode probably wouldn't have scored. And for me, it was offside as well. So, Eddie, your thoughts on both?
Which bit of our goal do you think was offside? Because it's such a muddle. At which point do you think it's offside?
So if we're going from the defender's head to Joe Bode's foot, like if you look at it in like slow motion, you look at we are offside. More's to the point. Andy Smith absolutely clattered their keeper. So maybe the referee has turned around and said, I've heard that the first goal was offside, so I'm going to level it up. I don't know.
Right. Well, my view of the first goal was a bit like a lot of people. I was watching their striker run through and then score. And so I hadn't realised how far offside the player in the build-up was offside because I was sort of following the ball and the player.
Mm.
And so, but what their analysts said it was miles offside, and like so, you just go, well, as you say, not easy being a linesman, assistant referee, sorry, and it's an error. That's just, we take that on the chin, but our goal was such a glorious manifestation of the perfect goal. I didn't realise it could have been offside, but I mean there was about 20 people involved, really. So
yeah, exactly. This is it, isn't it? It's so difficult for them to do that sometimes. But yeah, it was. I think both goals were definitely offside. I think also Andy Smith definitely clattered their keeper. So fair.
I'll be honest, right? I'll tell you what, Gillingham being quite good at the dark arts. Or being better at the dark arts is essential for this season. For the last 2 years, when we've come up like against Accrington last year and Wimbledon the last 2 years, we've been bullied, we've been too nice, we've not been streetwise, and we've crumbled, or we've just been bullied at the wrong moment, and we've lost narrow games when actually we should have won them. And I'm not an advocate of cheating in that sense, but if they start it, we've got to be as streetwise as they are. Yeah. And I'm glad this Gillingham team is showing a bit of that. I think Sam Gale loves a little bit of a wind up.
Yeah,
and we in the man management against Walsall, people going down injured or kicking the ball away and stuff. People have been doing that to us for 5 years. And we've been second in that. Come a very distant second in the dark arts. I hope they've been practicing their dark arts. I hope they do dark arts on a Thursday or something, practicing kicking people and falling down like they've been punched, because we need to do that.
What I will say as well,
within reason, obviously.
What I will say as well is, if I was a Tranmere fan and my goalkeeper stood there with his arms out watching the ball trickle over the line like that, I would be absolutely fuming. God,
it was so wrong-footed.
Anyway, right.
Can I let you into a secret, guys?
Go on then.
Right. When we scored, I was having a piss. So I missed it. You
did it last season. You did it last season. But I think we scored against someone and you was having a pack.
It's an art that I've performed. I can remember a Steve Lovell 40-yarder from the touchline up at Lincoln. Right. And I missed that. And I've never seen that goal ever since. But I have history. But,
you do.
Yeah, I went all the way to
last season. I think when we played, I don't know if it's Fleetwood or not, but we was on the show and you said, he was like, I don't know, but I didn't see it. I was having a fact.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
right, boys, so
yeah, I was in the toilet. For Bodie's goal, and I came back up thinking that Tranmere had scored a second, and it just happened to be us, didn't it?
So we give a 2-worded answer from each of you about Saturday's game. It's a little bit different for us, but a 2-worded answer from James.
Fantastic point.
Warren.
Rough and ready.
That's 3 if you include the and.
No. My 2 words were rough and ready.
And Eddie.
Fair result.
There we go. And I think it was, at the end of the day, we were talking about this DNA earlier, talking about everything there. And I think the boys, yes, we're not great at the moment. Yes, we are not attacking the way we should be as a football team, but you have to trust the process. And we look a hell of a lot better as a team for me. We look like we want to be there for a change, which is something that hasn't happened since Neil Harris was there. Anyway, so we will quickly move on to our man of the matches then, boys. So I've gone for Andy Smith. Warren's gone for Sam Gale. James has gone for Andy Smith. And Eddie's gone for Sam Gale. So it's a 50-50 split tonight. So I'll start with James.
Yeah, I could easily have gone for Sam Gale as well, to be honest with you. He was a very, very close second. But I thought Smith was absolutely faultless all afternoon. He didn't put a foot wrong. He looked strong. He's been terrific since he come in, to be honest with you. But I think he was really, really good on Saturday. really dealt with a forward line who I definitely admired, and I think Tranmere will be there or thereabouts this season. To be honest with you, I really do. I think when you got players like Amari Patrick in your side who are performing like that, I think they really will do well. So yeah, I think Andy Smith he dealt with absolutely everything that was thrown at him. He's great in the air. He was great on the deck. His distribution was good. He's clearly a good communicator as well with his defenders and his goalkeeper. And I just thought he had a fantastic. Didn't put foot wrong.
Yeah, and don't really need to add any more to that, to be fair, because it's pretty much going to be the same. So I'll go Warren. And Warren, your reason for Sam?
I thought he was excellent defensively, but more important than that, when we needed just that little bit of drive in the second half, he showed it with his tenacity and his will to win, or will to get Gillingham back into the game by making some forward runs with a ball. He was desperate to get us that point, and I just felt that overall he shaded it only just from Andy Smith and Rob McKenzie. I thought Rob McKenzie deserves a mention because I thought he was excellent as well, centre half. But Sam, I think, because he did play well, and as I say, he kept Amari Patrick quiet apart from the 23 days ahead offside. I thought he produced a performance worthy of any Gillingham player.
Yeah. Yeah, and Eddie, yourself?
I mean, I thought it was a great collective effort in one sense. It's a bit mean to, leave everyone else out. I thought the whole unit was good. But my top three, Hutton, I thought had a pretty lively game, I thought. But yeah, my top two, same as everyone else, Smith and Gale. I thought it was, I've given the man of the match to Gale, but I thought it was Smith's best game for us this season. They were both outstanding. I mean, Gale shaded it for me for the same reason, not his defensive play, which was brilliant, but just his forays forward to get the game going in the other direction, and he's brought that to his game. He reminds me of a young Steve Bruce. That's all, and he was the best defender I've ever seen play for us. So if he has 1/10 of Steve Bruce's career, he'll be laughing, obviously. Yeah. But he reminds me of a young Steve Bruce who used to marauder forward as well. He'd win it in the air, he'd do all the ugly stuff, he'd do all the passionate stuff, but he could also bring it forward a little bit and start things off. So I'm a bit like the run he made against for us to get the opportunity in the League Cup. Yeah. And I loved that run. I mean, I don't know where he was going to go. I thought he was going to end up in the Gordon Road stand at one point, but it's just like he has that within his game.
Yep.
Having that pace as a defender is just elite. Just fantastic.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think he did it a couple of times last season as well, didn't he? Where he just made that run forward and was like, I'm just going to go for it. I think that's probably the passion he has for the team. Passionate as for the club, he's one of our own essentially. So he just wants us to do the best that we can, and he comes across with such a young man. When you see him in press conferences and interviews, it just comes across with such a level head for such a young person. But we will not be telling anyone that he's any good. So
he's rubbish.
For anyone listening, if you are, you probably are listening, but he's not that good, by the way. Anyway, we will quickly move on.
If Bodie's worth 500,000, Sam Gale's worth 3 million.
Correct. Exactly, yeah. No, 5. 12. 12. There we go. We're just putting ballpark figures out now. Oh, it's only going to take one run, and he's going to go up to 25. So yeah. Anyway, boys, we have got the return of Phil's thoughts this evening, so we will quickly listen to what Phil thought about Saturday's game.
There we go. We've come away with a point, and it was a really well-earned point. I thought we played really well. We were exceptional in the first half. We really held Tranmere. Second half, unfortunately, a lapse of concentration allowed them to get the goal. But we kept on going. We showed grit and determination, and we got that point. And believe me, I'm going home a very happy man today. Up the Gills.
There we go. So we will quickly move on to the View 6 and last week's predictions. So Chesterfield with Bristol Rovers, we had 2-1. Ollie had 2-1. Barnet Walsall, we had 3-0 to Walsall, and Ollie had 1-1. Grimsby Newport, it was 2-2 to us and 2-1 with Ollie. Milton Keynes Dons Cheltenham was 2-0 to Milton Keynes Dons for us and 3-0 to Ollie, and how wrong we all were. Shrewsbury losing 2-1 to Chesterfield, and Ollie had the same. And then with our result, it was 1-1 all round. So the actual results were 3-1 to Chesterfield against Bristol Rovers. Barnet was 2-1 loss against Walsall. Grimsby beat Newport 2-1. Milton Keynes 5-0 against Cheltenham. Shrewsbury 0, Colchester 2, and it was indeed 1-1 between us and Tranmere. So the results are as follows. We got 13 points and Ollie got 16 points, which means that the View from the Medway are on 28 and the guests are on 27. So now it's James's turn. James.
Lucky me.
For next week's fixtures, we have gone Bristol Rovers 1, Cambridge 1, and James has gone Bristol Rovers 1, Cambridge 2. Cheltenham and Barnet, we've gone 1-0 to Cheltenham, and James has gone 2-0. Colchester Barrow, we've gone 1-0, and James has gone 1-0 to Colchester. Fleetwood and Oldham, we've gone 2-0 to Fleetwood, and James has gone 2-0. Gillingham Crew, we've gone 1-0, and James has gone 1-0. And Harrogate Chesterfield, James has gone 2-1 or 4-1. Jesus Christ, you're feeling all right, mate. 4-1 to Chesterfield, and we've gone 2-1 to Chesterfield. So hopefully we can pull away a little bit after that. I think it's probably Warren's 2-1 loss to Walsall that's like kind of held us back a little bit. So yeah, James, your reasons for that at all, or just a shot in the dark?
Most of them are just a sort of a bit of a shot in the dark, but the Chesterfield one, I know it looks very OTT, but Chesterfield are my pick this season for the title. I think they are going to blow everybody away, including us tomorrow. So yes, I have gone 4-1 for Chesterfield. I think they look pretty tasty at the moment.
There we go. So we will quickly touch on, we have 2 games to look ahead to. So we're looking ahead, as James alluded to tomorrow night. So Warren, I will go with you. I will be finishing work at 6 o'clock and rushing to the ground to watch the game. So what are your hopes and aspirations for tomorrow, Warren?
Just more of the same of what we've been doing. I don't know whether Palmer Holden would be anywhere near the team, or Rowe or Vokes. It's a toss-up. I think we're going to miss Masterson. I don't know who's going to play left back, whether he'll stick McKenzie out there or he'll give Serini a go. But it's hell of a debut if you're going to make it against Chesterfield, because as James alluded to, they're a pretty good side. I expect Chesterfield to be up there with MK Dons at the end of the season. They'll blow everyone away. MK Dons was just a wait till they clicked. I think they're going to, the amount of money they've thrown at it, they can't not fail this year. I would like to see us have a go. We haven't got, since we beat Chesterfield 10-0, we haven't got a particularly good home record against Chesterfield. But I'm going to go for a narrow 2-0 defeat.
There we go. And Eddie, yourself?
Well, the Chesterfield game, I'm also tipping them to be top 3 or 4, I'll be honest. And it will be a tough game. However, their style of football is tippy-tappy, pass it at the back, pass it around, pass it back, pass it sideways, keep possession. And we're the antidote to that, hopefully. And I'd say when we played them away towards the end of last season, they had the ball all the time, but we battered and closed them down and harried them and stopped them playing. And we got a really worthy 1-1 draw. I think that if we're at the top of our game of being disruptors and breaking it up and stopping them playing, we've got a chance. But we're going to have to do that very well. Yeah, I mean, I can see us losing 1-0 sort of thing. It'll be binary, I'd imagine, like every game. I mean, we haven't scored more than 2 at home since Cheltenham before Christmas. So, you know, don't think it's going to be a 4-4 draw, chaps or ladies. But I do think Chesterfield are decent, but they can be got at because of their style of play. If we're in their faces, kick them up, get the crowd going, you know, we'll give it a go. You know, they're not Real Madrid. They're Chesterfield. They're pretty, and they're decent, but they are not Real Madrid. So I think it could be an interesting clash of styles, actually.
Yeah. And James, I know you've touched on it already.
I think Gareth said several times when he's tempering expectations that at some point things are going to go a bit wrong. I think it's tomorrow for us. I think we've ridden our luck a little bit over the opening games. This is the first team of real quality we are going to come up against, and I just don't think we're going to have enough for them. I really don't. I agree with Eddie and Warren that I think we'll battle. I don't think we'll get blown away, but I do think Chesterfield will score probably 2+, and I don't think we'll score more than 1. So I'm going to go with we don't score, do we? And Nevitt's going to play again.
Nevitt's going to play again.
3-0. 3-0.
Oh, well, that's going to be.
It might be a bit of a schooling tomorrow.
I definitely might have to go around my mate's house afterwards and have a couple of beers because I don't have it in the fridge, right? And if we lose 3-0, I can't be asked for the journey home to Gravesend, so I'm just going to go around his house, I think. Right, so we've also got to talk about Saturday. We'll all be there again, I'm sure. So yeah, James, I'll start with you on this one, mate, because my kids are calling me, so I will be 2 seconds.
Okay. I went with 1-0 in the prediction league, and that's what I'm going to stick with. I think after a difficult performance and result tomorrow night, I think we'll slightly bounce back on Saturday, and I think we'll be a bit more resolute. And I don't think Crewe have quite got what Chesterfield have. So yeah, I think I'll rely on our 1-1 result, which we seem to be very good at. So I think that's what it'll be.
I think 1-0 is pretty realistic as well against Crewe. Yeah, I think that Crewe aren't quite as good as Chesterfield, and we'll give it a good go. And I mean, I'm quite surprised Crewe are up there. They didn't finish last season very well, did they? It's. I mean, we are playing the top 2 in like 5 days. So I mean, it's not going to be easy for us, and so it could be a bump in the road. And I hope. My main hope is if, say, we don't play very well and we lose, that the crowd don't overreact and fans online don't overreact, because so far it's been a very solid start to the season and there are lots of good signs. I know it's frustrating we can't score more than 1 goal, but the actual how we've played and the unity and determination and passion from the players, those are also things that we are noticing. So, yeah, I'd take a draw. You know, I wouldn't be amazed if it wasn't 1-1 0-0 against Crewe, but yeah. So,
Warren, yourself?
So for me, it wouldn't surprise me if we went and beat Chesterfield and lost at home to Crewe. It wouldn't surprise me for any result for both games. But I really think that these 2 games, this is where the players need the Rainham end and the crowd to really get behind them from start to finish. No matter what goes on the pitch during the game, these are 2 games that the players really need the crowd. And I urge all Gillingham fans to get behind the team for both games. No matter what happens Tuesday night, take it into Saturday. Let's get behind the teams. Let's do our bit, because I can assure you the players are giving everything they've got. We know it's not 100% yet. We know we're not fully there, but these players are committed and they're giving 100%. Let us, the supporters, do the same back for them on Tuesday and Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. And couldn't have put it better myself, mate. Really, you can see that there's fight with these players. You can see that they're trying. You know, last season they looked lost, but they're actually starting to look like a cohesive unit now. Maybe not attackingly, maybe not, you know, scoring goals, but then that's very Gillsy anyway, isn't it? We still have Vokes to come back. We still have Seb Palmer Holden to come back. So we have to think about that as well. But yeah, they're looking like a unit. They're looking like they want to play for each other. They want to play for the club for a change, which is very refreshing. So yeah, I think that would be that pretty much with the games. You can't expect too much when you don't necessarily have that quality in attack. No disrespect to Nevitt or Andrews. Andrews is still coming back from ridiculous amount of XR with injury. So yeah. So boys, before we do finish the show, I do want to. What would be your minimum expectation, Warren, across the two games, points wise?
Points wise, if we get 2, I'll be happy. If we get 6, I'll be over the moon. I don't like to predict because I'm the most negative person in the world. 3 points. 3 points would be great for us from the 2 games.
Okay. So 1 win, basically. Yeah. Eddie, yourself.
I'd love 3 points. 2 points wouldn't be the end of the world.
Okay.
But I don't think we're going to get 6. If we do, I'll buy a round.
Jesus. Right, we get 6 then, boys.
Christ.
Eddie has never brought a round for me in his life, and I've travelled away to away games with him before. And well, he disappears once you get off the train anyway, so you never see him. James, yourself, mate, and what would be your, I guess, minimum, I guess?
I'll be absolutely delighted with 2 points because that will mean that we've got 2 draws and the unbeaten run continues.
There we go. I'd probably say 4 points maximum would be my expectation. Minimum would be, 3 or 2.
Nothing.
I'm not sitting here saying we're going to beat them. I'm not saying, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Especially at this level, because we could play the way we did on Saturday, and then we could go and just smash 2 of the best teams in the league, like without any blinking of an eye. So it's just, it's one of them. But we are at the end, boys. So if you want to join us on the Facebook group, then it's The View from the Medway. Follow us on X at The View from the Medway Fancast or TVFTM, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is also free, The View from the Medway Fancast. Before we do go, boys, do we have any housekeeping or anything you would like to say before we go? And I will start with Eddie.
No. We've covered everything I can think of. Thanks.
There we go. And Warren.
Yeah, I'd just like to say one thing. If you're on social media, that's X, Facebook, whatever forum you're on, right? Please be nice to people.
There we go. And James, yourself.
Yeah, I'll absolutely echo what Warren just said. Please think before you post.
There we go. So, guys, we are at the end of the show. The stuff is on the screen. I've been Chris. He's been James. He's been Warren. He's been Eddie. Good night and up the Jills.